You're watching Notepad with me, Ibrahim Sani. Today we shall take a step back and try to understand better the competitors of Astro. One of them is iFlix. I spoke with the CTO of iFlix, or the Chief Technology Officer of iFlix, Emmanuel Frenhard, over in Singapore when we both attended the AWS Summit there. Here's my conversation with Emmanuel.
So I'll be honest, we get it wrong. We still get it wrong very often. And no matter how much of the artificial intelligence and machine learning we put into it, we get it wrong because really machines cannot really read your brain, a human brain. And the moment you come into the service, we don't exactly know what mood you're in, what predisposition you're in, and what you just watch, what things that you've done outside of our platform. So we try to get it better day by day. And we do a lot of work and we spend a lot of time getting to understand consumer behavior inside our platform. But we're going to keep getting it wrong until we get it better. We're not going to get it 100% right. And I don't think there's a time where we get 100% right.
Yeah.
But I do fundamentally believe that the relationship that consumers have with content and that we track for the benefit of the user, we don't track it for any nefarious ways, but we track it because we want to give consumers a better quality experience, is starting to pay off. About 65% of our homepage today is completely programmatic in iFlix, including the banners that you see, etc. And we learn from what works and what doesn't work. We learn when we got it right, and you suddenly are clicking from one piece of content and leading to the next one. And we know also when we got it wrong, where it hasn't resonated. And so it's the only thing we can do is keep learning, keep mining. I don't like to talk about users, I like to talk about fans. I think that we have fans. And we have millions of people showing up on your service on a monthly basis. There are millions of people that you need to treat as they are fans. They're fans of the service, they're committing some of their time, and they want to have an enjoying experience watching content. It could be that they're seeking to be pushed intellectually, and they may look for controversial documentaries or drama, or they maybe just want to be entertained because life is hard. We all have very busy times. Commute is not easy, work is hard, you got a family life. Sometimes you just want escapism. And I want to make sure that our service delivers when you want that escapism. Whether that be a horror movie that will take you way away, or that be a piece of comedy, or in our world, a piece of news or sports. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be that place where escapism works, but also is personalized and recommended. So our focus is on that. For sure, I think you bring a very good point. I don't think we're there yet, and you're making me think in terms of psychology. What we do, like the humans, understanding human psyche is very complicated, and there are professionals that dedicate their lives to doing that. I don't think I have that yet, that vision in my team to do that. But what we do work is we work with our content selection team. So we have a team that loves and is passionate about content. And then you have the robots. The robots just understand algos, and they respond to signals that you give them. A thumbs up, a thumbs down, a like, a dislike, a don't completion rate in a viewing. The robots are just incredibly powerful at computing in real time all those signals. But the humans are what create what we call the content collections. Because how do you create a collection of content from a pretty big catalog that we now have on iFlix? We have thousands of hours of content we've ingested and that we can play back. That makes sense and resonates with people. And I think that's where it's the human side that you're bringing to, that we are bringing. So our homepage has a lot of human touch in terms of creating those categories of content that then the robots will fill in. But the first thought is, what would be great? So think about, I live in Malaysia. I've been living in Malaysia for 2.5 years. And I've learned so much about the diversity of Malaysia, and its heritage is very diverse. What's fascinating is that you've got a lot of holidays in Malaysia, you've got a lot of religious and ethnic holidays. And so how do you create a service that responds to that? The robots don't know. The robots can be fed a calendar, but they won't know that the meaning of that holiday or the steps, the procession that happens in that holiday. The humans do though, and the humans connect with the content and that time. So I think that's where the power comes from. So I don't think we're there in the level of psychology, but we're there in terms of the love of the content and the ability to curate and create collections. That's what we do, day in, day out. And then the robots help fill it more accurately. So what would you want to watch at a higher rate? The robot won't necessarily know, the robot may pick up a signal from something you do inside our service, great, but then we want the human to be able to say, the signal means that this is the kind of content that this person is after, and then let the robot fill it. Because what is really hard is we all create echo chambers. There is a trend that is growing, a trend of the homepage delay. You're not on a homepage, take any service out there, you're not on a homepage and it's plentiful. There's a world of plentiful. It's kind of like coming to Singapore to the food stalls, and there is plentiful of food stalls, and you just have suddenly a period of time where you don't know what to take. What should I go for? And so what the echo chamber can be is the popularity service. I only show you popular stuff. And so you have almost this vicious cycle of, well, it's popular stuff, and you never discover content. And how many times have you discovered content through a friend recommendation? I would say lots of times. A lot of times. Because you don't trust anybody, but your friends, they're
over coffee,
exactly.
over something. Hey,
they say,
you
should watch this.
Yeah.
Like we're now airing a show that I wasn't familiar with called Noor, that has a fair amount of controversy. And somebody said to me, you need to watch it and to understand more about Malaysia and understand more about the complexities of some of those themes that are addressed in there. I'm like, oh my God, I'm hooked. This is a very powerful show. This is true human recommendation. And so what worries me every day at iFlix is that when you're now on our homepage, you find something you want to watch. That's what worries me. I'm not worried so much about the depth of our catalogs. I think we have good content, but that you find something to watch and you find something engaging, but also that's not just popular. Something that will meet you, your aspiration and what you're trying to do with that time. And that's I think that's my preoccupation. For sure. We've been very fortunate with AWS in many ways. There's many cloud platforms out there, and you know them all. But where we've been very fortunate, I think, is in the world where we call it the world of friend enemies, where really Amazon is a great platform for us. At the same time, they compete with Amazon Prime, and they're in the same markets as we're in, and they're global, and we are focused on emerging markets. So you would say, maybe you should not. Maybe you should go and look for a more agnostic platform. There is no one who's agnostic today. Everybody's in media and entertainment, one way or the other. What Amazon is unique at is they invest in media and entertainment like nobody else has done. So I'll talk about the Elemental, for example, acquisition that they've done, and moving hardware to software in the cloud. We were one of the first ones to onboard Elemental Live to stream all our football games last year. And for us, be able to introduce a layer of broadcast, really. I know that your company has a lot of investment in broadcast, a lot of capital. I came from a media entertainment company where we had big investment in broadcast. I could not replicate what you have overnight. But with the cloud, I could replicate parts of what you have overnight without having to go and buy hardware, without having to go and build a complex network operating center and a broadcast center, etc.
And having the necessary talents to do so as well.
Absolutely, and finding the talent from them and the talent from our teams who understand the platform. And because they've done it in a way that those services are connected, it's daunting when you look at AWS and look at the thousands of services they're running. But at the same time, it's also impressive to see how they're connected. So we record we air a football game. We air it kind of like a broadcaster does, because we literally capture it from a camera. So we air it from the same traditional medium, and then we store it in S3. At that point in time, we take our tools to clip it, to make real-time goal clips, etc., that we can push on Twitter, we can push on Facebook, we can push on, to let the fans know that this game is happening and promote at the same time iFlix, but not just promote, also give the fans something, which is seeing the goals. We do push notifications, we use Amazon for some of those push notifications. So the connective tissue that there is around AWS has been very important for us. So getting content, the supply chain of content. Yeah. There's two aspects to when you look at it. One of them is, if you take Western content, and if you especially take content made in the US, Hollywood content as we call it, there's plentiful of it. Why? Because the supply chain is vast, is gigantic, and they've been doing that for decades. For us, one of our first challenges is the available of plentiful. When you get to Malaysia, you get to Indonesia, get to the Philippines, etc., while they are really good production houses, good quality, there's not that many. The slates are not that deep. The talent pool is not huge either, because it's still a growing industry. So we're happy to be participants in the industry. We're happy to commission more work from the industry. At the same time, we also know there's sometimes not as much elasticity in it as we'd like to be able to do. So we work more and more at reinforcing our own originals, and ensuring that we have the talent to build those originals. They take time, but we've done originals in Malaysia. They've been extremely successful for us. We've done originals in the Philippines, we've done originals in Indonesia, and so far, every original that we've done has outperformed anything that we've ever had on our catalog, which is a good news. It's a sign that what we're doing works, but also resonates with the fans, which is what I really care about. Building a supply chain will take some time, though. So the shortage of content, the shortage of local content is true. I'll give you an example. One thing that we often discuss is we did a great TV series that I think is a great TV series called KL Gangster Underworld, which is a spin-off of well-known titles in Malaysia. It's 6 episodes. If you take any Western show, we'll have a minimum of 13, 20, and if you take comedy, etc., it's, you name it. Korean production houses sometimes have 80 episodes in a series. So it's different volume. We're not at the volumes yet. And to be able to create stickiness, you need a certain amount of volume. You need that storytelling that leads on to hours and hours of viewing. That whole binge watch format that really was introduced is about depth. And in local content, there's not enough depth for us yet. We're working with the studio houses, we're building that ecosystem, we're participants in it, we're funding it to a certain extent. But I think it's the common funding that's happening. Everybody is noticing that local content is really powerful. Local storytelling is really powerful. I don't know if it's inevitable. It's inevitable that we're going to partner with more and more people. We don't have, it's interesting, I would love to say that I know, but I don't have a position of knowledge because it's all a position of discovery. Every day we make decisions and we meet new people, we learn from them, etc. We make new partnerships. Every day we learn something new. Our thinking evolves a little bit. So I don't know that we have our own production team, if you want, local production team. We have our own team. We don't have the whole facility because we work with partners. I couldn't tell you what tomorrow is going to be for us in that world, but I can tell you that more and more local content and more original iFlix content, that's for sure. The how, I don't have all the answers to that mechanic yet. I don't see for us tomorrow a huge revolution beyond, I think, more pervasiveness of it, and therefore more pervasiveness of it and more stability of it will give us more reach of users. It won't change tomorrow fundamentally how we distribute video. I don't think it will. We're doing a lot of work in how we distribute video. We're doing a ton of work in optimizing video per title, per handset, so we do a lot of machine learning behind it as well, detecting devices, understanding that this kind of device deserves that kind of content. Behind the scenes, I think 5G will allow me to have new profiles of devices that can deal with better, faster, etc., but it's not going to revolutionize, at least for us tomorrow, I don't think so. Yeah, technology is the underlying enabler. The content is storytelling. You don't come to iFlix or you don't come to any piece of any video service just to look at the technology. You don't care about the Lambda functions running behind or the fact that it's on S3 and you should not. I tend to think that when technology works, it's transparent. You don't see it. That's when you've reached it. If there's hurdles, if there's barriers, there's buttons you've got to press, stuff like that, that technology in the way. Our job, my job, is to just make technology fade away and content to take center stage. And ideally do it in a way that is recommended. Therefore, if I knew that you wanted to watch this at that time, that would be the perfect answer. Then I give you this. And then everything else fades away. You enjoy the content, you've got an emotional connection to the content, you watch it, ideally you stay to watch more, but there is something that we've delivered and something that is, something that is here. That's what's important. And sometimes something that is here as well. It can't just be emotion. It also has to work on, I think, your brain development.
That was my conversation with Emmanuel Frenhard, the CTO of iFlix, an up-and-coming company to supply content to the people of Southeast Asia and beyond. Remember to download or watch this show on all our platforms, including that of the Astro AWANI app. That's it from me for this week's Notepad. Until next time.